If you own a Switch, you've probably at least dabbled in the world of cozy farm simulation games, and I myself find them often charming but fleeting in their appeal. You see, I'm the kind of individual who craves grand adventures, the kind that these games often hint at but rarely deliver. Yet, every now and then, a gem like Rune Factory or Littlewood comes along, blending the tranquility of farming with the excitement of combat or even the mystery of exploration, and that is where, for me, the genre is at its best. Now a new contender has entered the ring, Fae Farm, and it promises just that, a combination of farming, dungeon crawling, questing and magic welding. Now, after spending a couple of days in its world, I am ready to share my first impressions with you all. Let's get started. If you enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. It makes a huge difference to the channel. We have daily Switch content, and you can expect a comprehensive review of Fae Farm when it gets closer to launch. Now, bear in mind then that this is a preview, so we are just going to be skimming the surface. Fae Farm unfolds in an episodic format, and at the moment I'm midway through episode 3 of 12, and I've dedicated about 6 hours to gameplay. Trust me though when I do say there is a wealth of optional content I am yet to explore. I've mainly been focusing on that main questline, so I'm impressed actually with how much time it has consumed. The game also promises a format that can be continued as a more traditional farming simulation on completion of that main quest for anyone questioning longevity. The narrative then is simple. We exist in a place that is unnamed when one day a bottle bobs up on the beach carrying an invitation inside. This invitation is to embark on a journey to a land called Azoria. With little holding us back, we hop on our ship, ready to plunge headfirst into this voyage. It is a daring expedition, though it is all presented in a cutscene. Before you do get all, is this like Wind Waker? On me in the comments. Now, the reason it is daring, Azoria is surrounded by whirlpools. In fact, they destroy our ship, and for this reason, we are the first guests this town has seen in a good while. They are actually so thrilled to see us. In fact, they gift us a house and a plot of land to dissuade us from leaving. But why would we be thinking about leaving, facing those whirlpools once again? Well, we soon discover the whirlpools are not the only menace here. Magical finds take over the land, there's an impenetrable fog covering much of the world, there is a potentially active volcano, and then there seems to be a few climate issues as well, because if you take a few steps in the wrong direction, it is freezing cold. These are not mere inconveniences, they form the crux of our story, or at least that is the case this far. And that is basically, can we make Azoria safer? Can we uncover as well the cause of all of these bizarre occurrences? I'm enjoying the story so far. There's a massive cast of characters to meet and engage with in this world, and the delivery of the narrative has been unique. The opening cutscene and even a few of the dialogue exchanges, they are presented as rhymes, and I actually really like that. It really fits that Fae Farm style. The mechanics they've built have genuinely impressed me so far, but before we do delve into the gameplay, I want to add here that while I spent my time engaging with that main storyline, it may be different for you as it's packed with other activities for you to face. There are multiple side quests I'm yet to tackle. These initially serve as a great introduction to the cast, but they do evolve from there. Also, right off the bat, you're given a basic farm setup that you could work on. However, I do also want to stress at this point that you will ultimately need to venture into the dungeons. The reason is simple. The necessary materials for your farm constructions are, at least initially, exclusively found here. If you ignore the dungeons, you'll soon hit a roadblock in your farm and character developments. Let's kick off with the exploration aspect, which to my surprise provided a level of freedom I didn't see coming. Unlike the, let's call it, brisk stroll I'm accustomed to with this genre, this adds the ability to jump, which adds a whole new dimension to the experience. This ability allows us to jump between various points of the island. We could scale rooftops, we can even jump and take a dip in the ocean. I never saw that coming, but it feels so freeing. The game even gives you a reason to maximize these abilities thanks to collectible scrolls scattered around Azoria. Don't overlook these scrolls, as they're essentially blueprints for crafting new items, whipping up recipes, and so much more from there. These are not just collectibles for the sake of being collectibles. They really do hide them as well in some unexpected places, and I had this slight feeling of almost an old school 3D platformer, which is a massive compliment. Embarking on this journey then has led me to cross paths with a diverse cast of characters, each eager to share nuggets of wisdom and skill. I've mastered the art of fishing, for example, a central gameplay mechanic, delved into the marketplace where goods are traded, and I've honed my bug catching skills with a handy net. I've also stumbled upon a few locations that are inaccessible for now, but that intrigues me and makes me want to push forward. You can also simply chat with these characters around you, learn more about them, learn more about the world, and Fae Farm will conveniently track these interactions with the potential for friendship and romance in the future. Farming, and as I mentioned, as soon as you step foot into the world of Fae Farm, you're bestowed with a humble abode and a plot of land. It is a blank canvas, ripe for cultivation. It also appears expansions and improvements will be possible with advancements. That's because there's a carpenter in the market who offers these services. I haven't experimented with it yet, just simply because I don't have the required items or gold. My first strategy was to clear half of my land for construction, and then I preserved the rest as a natural resource reservoir. The tools you'll be using here at the farm then, and the fishing rod and bug catcher, they can be leveled up as well, some at the market, others through a blacksmith. I've actually been working on my axe mainly, and her services, the blacksmith, they do not come cheap, requiring specific items to complete that transformation, as well as a decent chunk of gold. Among the items I've crafted for my farm then are a food preparation bench and a fire for cooking. Yes, you'll need to eat here to replenish your slowly depleting energy as you do perform various actions. My collection also includes a sawmill, a seal crafting station, which we'll explore later in the context of dungeons, and a forge. I also just got my first enclosure and animal, which is a chicken, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else is on offer, but generally this only seems to scratch the surface, and that's because a glance at the crafting menu, it reveals a huge amount of yet undiscovered items. Alongside your farm then, adding a personal touch to your home is also an option many will enjoy, especially with the cozy meter that ties into these upgrades. From what I've seen so far, the options for home customization range from flooring and wallpaper to home goods. I'm still chipping away myself at getting a nice bed for my character, and these upgrades, they seem to play into character rest quality. I've got a feeling that will impact our health, energy and mana meters in the upper left of the screen, but I will confirm that in my full review. Before delving into the dungeons then, just a quick peek at an unexpected feature. I'm curious to see how this evolves, but weather effects and seasons, sure you see these in most games in the genre, but here they actually impact the character as well. When it rains, you can witness your character bracing the chill, and if my observations are correct, it seems to deplete my energy quicker. Fortunately, there is a silver lining outfits to unlock, so for all you cosmetic fans out there, this should impress. Additionally, the game features a comprehensive character creator to kickstart your journey. Dungeons then, and for some, this might create a sense of concern, and I get it, they may question the impact on coziness, but let me reassure you immediately, if the first dungeon is any indicator, there is nothing here that is overly intricate. Sure, they feature a few enemies, but so far it's been a one-button control scheme, a standard attack, and that is with a magic staff you do possess. I actually hope to see this scheme evolve. The concept really revolves around moving from floor to floor. To do that, you need to identify switches to unlock that next room, and in this first dungeon, there's been 25 floors to conquer. These switches are concealed under resources that you do clear, so it's more really of what you know the farming gameplay, and that is clear out the vegetation. You can even bypass these rooms should you want to by crafting seals, the seal crafting station I mentioned earlier in the video, because these not only unlock the next door, but they keep it unlocked permanently. The reason I say that is because you see you can enter and leave the dungeon as you please, but it resets at 6 AM after the forced sleep at 11 PM daily. The additional beauty of these seals is that they allow you to teleport in future runs. That becomes clearly beneficial because of some great resources towards those higher levels. If I had to describe the dungeons, it's less about combat ability, it's really more about strategy. Start early in the day and ensure you have enough food supplies on hand to keep that stamina meter up, because if you do run out, you're going to need to rest, and in turn, that resets the entire process. You can also then carry health potions and magical potions even. These can simplify this process even further, but I am yet to try them myself. And this gets us to where I left the experience. I reached the 25th floor and I've discovered the source of the whirlpools. They aren't being created with ill intent. Now the mission is to gather resources to assist this spirit character in stopping them for the future. What I'm noticing at this point now is this is quite a lengthy task. I've got a whole lot of construction ahead of me, but it's absolutely got me intrigued and I'll absolutely be pushing forwards. So overall, in my first impressions, I'm impressed. The core mechanics are everything a cozy farm fan could want, with options to look after the land, meet the locals, and simply embed themselves in this world at their own pace. For someone like me then, that needs just a little bit more on top of the reward of restoring a location, I get a world to explore, a fun control scheme, some dungeons to crawl, and a story that packs some intrigue with locations to unlock. Really excited to check out the rest of the experience though, and you can expect to see my full review around launch. So are you excited for Fae Farm? Let me know in the comments. With that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.